Hello, and welcome to a New Year's Eve special, which, well, this is the first time I'm doing it, and maybe I'll do it in the next few years. Here's my idea. At the New Year period is a time to look back and look forward. It is the first month of the year is January, named after Janus, the Roman god of doorways, so he's my arch nemesis. And he had two faces, one to look back and one to look forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my top 10 games that I've played. So if there's a game that you really enjoy and it's missing, that might be why, considering the number of blind Let's Plays I'm doing, which is all but 2 of them that I've ever done. And then I'm going to do my top 10 games that I'm looking forward to playing next year. Now, I'm not really up on the whole kind of release dates and stuff, so I don't think there's any that are actually coming out. All of these are games I own. So, yeah, that kind of limits it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to read out the 5 games I'm currently Let's Playing and guess where they're going to end up. Because I've got no idea at the moment because I haven't thought about it yet. And then we'll see how right I am. So, the one I've been doing longest is Baldur's Gate. And about a month ago, I was really doubting it would make it. It was I wasn't sure what was going on. Picking a mage was a horrible, horrible idea. I don't think I said that enough in that Let's Play. But I'm actually really starting to enjoy it a lot more now. Kind of getting into it. I have a sizable party, which means I can actually do this thing called combat, which appears in this game, but I couldn't really do that before. So I would be incredibly surprised if it didn't make my top 5. But you know, that's not silly enough. I've got to actually pick a number. So I'm going to go with 3 for Baldur's Gate. Mass Effect. That's a tough one. I can see some good things. I can see why people like it. I think maybe the fact that all I've played so far has been the first mission and then running around the Citadel, which is my own fault. I probably should be doing fewer side quests and more main quest, and then get more of the action. It feels lacking, and I know that it's a trilogy. I've got all 3, and it feels like it's not that it is just that it's trying to be the beginning to an epic, and I don't know how epic the epic will be. Again, well, no, I think this one is kind of I wouldn't be surprised if it did make it. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't make my top 10. So it's going to be a low, and I think it's going to be about 8 if it's on the list. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Wow, I am really enjoying this. And I'm going to go with 6. But, I mean, yeah, complete guess. Assassin's Creed. I'm still not sure. I mean, I've heard a lot of things like this is the worst of the Assassin's Creed series. This one or 3, but I've not played any of the other ones, and I've only played a little bit of this. So I'm gonna say it's not gonna make it. I think I've not played it enough to make it. It could make it later on if it's better. And then finally, I just started uploading this yesterday at the time of upload. At the time of recording, I've finished it, but I've not started uploading it all. Adam's Venture, Episode 1, Search for the Lost Garden. Kind of interesting game, kind of popcorny. I used that at the end of the credits, by the way, giving away a bit of my information from the credits. Was a bit frustrating at times. I don't think that's going to make it either. But I mean, that's a list of 10. Out of a list of 10, I don't think that those 2 are going to make it Assassin's Creed or Adam's Venture. So I'm now going to try and work out where things come in my top 10. I'll be right back for you. For me, it'll be, I don't know, maybe about half an hour of me messing around trying to work out what I'm doing. So I will come back to you momentarily. Alright, so after a little bit of fiddling around and trying to work out what my top 10 games of all time that I've played, are, and what my top 10 games I'm looking forward to playing are, for quite a bit of time, more than I actually expected. Here they are. So, a little recap over 5 games I'm currently Let's Playing and what I predicted. I predicted that Assassin's Creed and Adam's Venture would not make my top 10, that Mass Effect would be number 8, that Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines would be number 6, and that Baldur's Gate would make number 3. So, here we are. So, number 10 is Stronghold, and that's kind of, you're building up a castle or a town type thing in medieval England, I think it is in the campaign, certainly. And sometimes you get attacked, and you've got to deal with that, and there's a bit of a campaign to that. But to recruit men, to get soldiers, you have to keep people happy so that more people will come and your population will increase, so you can turn those population into troops. And you've got to get the equipment for them, whether that's leather armor, metal armor, whether that's swords or other weapons or bows or something. And the industry that they use, they also need resources. So that could be, they need cows for the leather, you need to get some iron ore, you need to get wood for the bows, and I think spears also use wood. And you need money to pay for them. So there's lots of different things going on. And you always need that wood or stone or whatever to build your defenses. Really kind of interesting kind of resource management going on there. I really enjoyed the kind of tactics and strategy that goes on in that one. Number 9, Mass Effect. Alas, I was one off with Mass Effect. That was kind of annoying, but whatever. If you're watching my stuff, you know what it is. It's kind of a third-person shooter / RPG type thingy. I don't like the way BioWare seems to be doing dialogue in this, because you get a hint to what it says, but that's not necessarily what you say. What you understand it to say isn't might not be what it actually says. Not a problem I had with Dragon Age Origins, which didn't make my top 10, by the way. Kind of enjoying it. It might have got higher. I think the problem is I've not played it long enough. That might be higher next year, he says, knowing he's going to be playing lots of games next year. Okay, number 8, Tropico 4. Kind of, I think, similar to Stronghold, except you're never going to get attacked, unless you do really badly with foreign relations. So, Tropico 4, you are El Presidente of Tropico, or some other island in the Caribbean. And you garner support with various factions by building things. You manage the education, the industry, the income, the outgoings of the country. You control what laws happen to some extent. And I really like that. I've mainly done sandbox. I've done a very small amount of the campaign to it. I think I've done like 4 missions. Might have done more. And those are a lot more interesting because you're actually focused in what you're doing, and you have to do certain things in a certain way often to achieve those goals that you get for the mission in the campaign. Number 7, Freedom Force. This is a kind of third-person tactical mission-based RPG thing. Not very good at fitting things into the correct genre. Freedom Force, you start off as a guy named... I played this recently because I was going to Let's Play it, but there was something wrong with... I think just all the particle effects were really slowing it down with fraps. And you're a guy called Frank Styles, and you become the hero called the Minuteman. Very kind of American patriot type hero. And you play as him for a few missions, and as you gain experience with him, you can unlock more abilities for him to use, more attacks, more passive abilities, or whatever. And you go through, you pick up more characters, and you get, I think you can send 4 of your heroes on any mission. Sometimes you're limited based on how many you have, or which ones have to go due to the story. So the story of the mission might be you're going to get someone, so you only get 3 because you're going to get a 4th one. Or it might be that you get that one person is key to the story in a particular way, one of the cutscenes. So it might be there's a magical character called the Alchemist, and it might be that she has to go to deal with the magic, and that's part of the cutscene, and she's definitely in one of your 4, and you then pick your other 3. Fairly enjoyable. Obviously, I've put it in number 7. It was one game I wanted to let's play, but ended up unfortunately not being able to. Yeah. Number 6. So this is where I put Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. What's here? Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War. Oh dear, I'm wrong. I used to play Warhammer 40k, Lord of the Rings, War of the Ring when it changed, Mordheim, quite a few Games Workshop games, and I remember getting Dawn of War and kind of enjoying it. It's kind of a squad-based RTS, but that's not right. When you recruit people in this RTS, you don't recruit individuals, one person, you recruit a squad, and to upgrade that squad, you can recruit more people into that squad, or you can give them a sniper rifle, or you can give them a flamer, kind of similar to Warhammer 40,000 if you've ever played that. The premise of the backstory is humanity has created this massive empire, but they don't really understand their technology, so they find it very difficult to rebuild their stuff, and they're very paranoid and very racist. So if you're not human, if you're allowed in, so you're almost a human, then you'll have some rights. Not as many as a human. If you're totally different, if you're an alien, you might, depending on your attitude, you might be suffered. You might be tolerated as an ally, but you'll always be an enemy. You'll never be included in the Empire. And they have these things called Space Marines. And these Space Marines, big clunky armor, big weapons, all very good, in theory, at tactics and strategy, unless I'm controlling them. And that's kind of the premise of the story. You're playing through as Space Marines. I've played this a lot, similar to Tropico 4. I've not really done much of the campaign, but I've played a lot of the kind of random games. So that or Tropico 4, if I play those, I'd probably work through the campaign, if I did them as a Let's Play. Number 5. Here we are. It's up 1 from my prediction, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I'm really enjoying it. One thing I really like about it is just the difference in attitude to Baldur's Gate. So in Baldur's Gate, I'll get a random encounter, I'll kill something, and I'll get experience. And most things are, if you kill someone, you get an experience. You hand in a quest, you get some experience as well. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines has that different thing where, yeah, you can kill someone. Didn't really get you anything. But you've handed in a quest, oh, now you can get experience. And it's that kind of difference of you're choosing how you're dealing with the mission that I really quite enjoy. I also, my personal preference in RPGs, in particular pen and paper RPGs, is non-level based progression rather than level-based progression. Because level-based progression, as I'm feeling with a mage in 2nd edition AD&D, you take a long time to build up the requisite amount of experience, and then, ding, you improve. In theory. I don't think Drago's improved in Baldur's Gate. But in non-level based progression, the progression is a lot slower. No, it's a lot... You gain an increase a lot faster. You gain increases a lot faster, but they're smaller. So in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, I can gain 3 experience fairly quickly in comparison to Baldur's Gate and D&D, but I can only really improve in 1 or 2 skills with that. So there is that difference there. But it's just my personal preference. I mean, it's a key thing of my mind and realism in non-level based progression, because that's what real life is. I don't spend a really long time doing one thing, and then at that point, do I gain the experience? But I slowly build up that experience as the thing goes on, and I'm learning constantly through it. So that's my personal preference on RPGs. Number 4, my first Let's Play, Ghostmaster. One of the reasons I picked it as my first Let's Play is it's because it's a game I enjoyed. I enjoyed playing it for you guys, and it's kind of a puzzly strategy type game. It's strategy in the fact you're trying to focus on certain goals, and you're also kind of reacting to what the humans are doing, what the mortals are doing, while also taking into consideration you need to scare them to get plasm and some missions because that's the goal. But in some missions, you need to keep them around to complete your objective because there are limitations to how you can manipulate the mortal realm. But also, you might need them to do something to free the lost spirits, and that's where the puzzle aspect comes in. They only really give you a riddle as to how to deal with them. How to free them. How do you free these ghosts? Well, here's this kind of random riddle. You click on them again, you get a bit more clarification, but you don't get complete, this is what you need to do. You need to do X, Y, and Z. So it's kind of got that puzzle element. It's got that strategy element to it as well. And it was really fun for me being out there and doing that last level completely blind. I'm working through it, trying to work out what I'm meant to be doing step by step. I also like the fact that most of the walkthroughs I looked at, because I looked at walkthroughs afterwards, just to have a look at how I could have done better on that last mission, because I was tempted to possibly do it again and get the cutscene. But most of them said, when the Stay Cold Ice Cream Man turns up, you can't kill him, and you just run away from him, and I managed to kill him. So, obviously, I know better than the internet. No. Moving on. Number 3, my guess here was Baldur's Gate. This is where I predicted Baldur's Gate would be, and my number 3 is Baldur's Gate. I think next year it will probably be higher, because I'll be playing it most of next year, I think, the rate I'm going with it. But also, I think one thing that kind of held it back for me, number 3 in my top 10. One thing that held it back was I'm not sure how the main quest, which is go into the National Mines, and the main story fit together. So the main story is there are people trying to kill Drago. We had that in Candlekeep. We had that in On the Road going away, and they killed Gorion. We've met a few people in the various inns that are trying to kill him, and we don't know why. And that to me is the main story. The main quest currently is go to Nashkel. We've done that. And go into the mines. We probably won't do that. I've got a few random quests. The journal also could be better. I mean, that's a minor thing, but it's mainly the story that's holding it back for me personally. And I'm sure once we get to the end that it all will become clear. Or I'm certainly hoping it. So I don't think it might. Well, depending on how I enjoy games I let's play over the next year, I don't think it's going to be number 3. I think it'll either be slightly higher, because it can't go a lot higher, because of the clarification from this, or it will drop, because the main quest and the main story won't be fitting together. But, I mean, I don't know. And blind Let's Play, don't tell me. No. So that's my predictions. So, are Assassin's Creed and Adam's Adventures going to make my numbers 1 and 2? And then I'd be horribly, horribly inaccurate. Number 2. Crusader Kings 2. I have enjoyed playing Crusader Kings 2. I haven't played it in a while because I've mainly been focusing on the stuff I'm Let's Playing. But I really enjoy picking up a nation and playing with them all through that time. And now that I've got Europa Universalis 4, I'd love to... Well, I'm kind of hoping that they do something like they do a new Victoria, so I think that'd be Victoria 3, and then a Hearts of Iron 4, with these built-in the built-in converters, and then you can play, because now with the Old Gods expansion, is that what it's called? The Old Gods DLC for Crusader Kings 2, you're starting in not 1867, you're starting in 867, and Hearts of Iron goes all the way to 1966. You can play through 1100 years of history. Admittedly, mostly focused on Europe, certainly for the beginning bit with Crusader Kings 2. But that would just be incredible. And I'd love to do, I mean, if that ever happened, there'd probably be a very good chance I'd let's play it. Maybe me let's playing it, maybe do something interactive, a la Variax with Morrowind. So that's kind of I love the idea of the history and the various options that go on in it. The randomness is kind of, you have to have that, just because otherwise you'd know exactly, oh, this guy's the best because he has these events and da-da-da-da. Or you don't want to take this province at this time because it will rebel. But there's a lot of randomness, and I think in some situations I think there might be too much. But I love the history to it, and I can look past that randomness just because of the scope of the game is incredible. I'm not that good at it. I'm not. I kind of turtle a lot in it. So I'll kind of build up my area, and I'll do very kind of I'll mess around with people with diplomacy, and inheritances, and marriage, and seniority-based inheritance for my own stuff. So that I'm grabbing all different people's things that way, rather than the kind of, proper, heroic, brave way of attacking people, laying claim to their counties and saying, no, I'm going to fight you for it. But I do enjoy it. I enjoy the history of it. And now, number 1. I probably won't remember to put in a drum roll here, but I probably should. My number 1 game that I've played is Diablo 2. I've never played the original Diablo. I haven't played Diablo 3, it never really caught my attention. But Diablo 2, a game I actually haven't played for, well, certainly not this year. And I didn't play it last year because it wouldn't work on my laptop for some reason. Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. I remember getting it when I was in secondary school, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that you could play it single player, just do your own thing, or you could play it multiplayer. I've never completed Diablo 2. I've only ever got to I've completed the second quest of Act 4. Never got to Diablo. I've never even seen Diablo. I don't know what his character looks like. I do have the Lord of Destruction expansion, and I've never got to that bit. I would love to do this as an LP. The problem is, I think, just the mechanics of clicking, the hack and slash constant clicking to attack, is one of the things that kind of pulls me away from doing it as an LP. And this is mainly a nostalgia pick because of that. The mechanism of just constantly clicking for the attack, it just sometimes bothers me, and I think would make commentary fairly difficult for that. And the fact that a lot of the time it is, oh, I'm killing this thing now, I'm killing this thing now, and especially with the fact I don't know a lot about Diablo lore in comparison to other people who do it. If I were to do it, I'd have to do it with a co-commentator. I think multiplayer is still available, so we'd probably do a co-op let's play where we'd pick 2 characters and play through the game together and experience it together and hopefully enjoy it together. So Diablo 2, my number 1. So that was my top 10 games I have played and enjoyed. I'm now going to give you my top 10 games that I'm looking forward to playing, and I'll give you a brief explanation as to why when I get to for each game. I'm guessing that there's a good chance one of these will be my next Let's Play, and there is a good chance that, well, pretty much a certainty, I'd say, that I will start one of these before the end of 2014. Now, looking at the list, I believe there is only one game that I have played before, and you'll probably guess which one it is because it's in my top 10. So, number 10. Recently got this in the Steam sale. As an aside, this is being recorded on the 28th, so I might get some games later that would fit into this, because the Steam sale is going to be running till the 3rd of January. Hooray! So, number 10. The Raven, Legacy of a Master Thief. So, this looks to be another kind of puzzle adventure, point-and-click type game that I've already done a few on this channel, and I've enjoyed playing it. I've enjoyed playing them. I've not played the Raven. I don't know what I'm on about. I've enjoyed playing them, and I struggled with Secret of Monkey Island, I think partially because I already knew what it was, and I wasn't working anything out. I wasn't trying to puzzle things out. The Raven being blind would avoid that, and would give me an insight into whether it is just that it wasn't blind on Secret of Monkey Island. Who knows? Number 9, Patrician 4. I remember playing Port Royale, I think it was 2, I think it was a demo of Port Royale 2, and just fiddling with the economy, and I enjoy economic games for board games, and as I've said, Tropico 4 in the kind of free play, and Patrician 4, and other things similar, Rise of Venice, Port Royale 3, both of which I currently have, seem to fit that. Seem to fit a kind of building up your economy and working out these routes. I'm not sure how good it would be as a Let's Play, but I would still like to do it. Just to see how it would work. Would it work as a Let's Play? How would the game go? I think Patrician 4 is based in the Hansa, so that's the Hanseatic League. So that's Northern Europe, so Northern Germany, Scandinavia. I think it goes a little bit into Russia on the Baltic. And then it's got the east of Great Britain. So it's kind of an area I kind of know east of Great Britain, and that's kind of it. But it'd be interesting just looking at the trading and how that would work. Number 8. A familiar name, we've already had it once. Dawn of War, the Warhammer 40k game I was talking about before. I wouldn't mind doing this. I think my main worry is about how it would work as an RTS. How interesting it would be for you guys. But I'd like to get onto Dawn of War 2. But I'd like to build up to it, going through the story of Dawn of War. From what I understand, I've not done a lot of research into these games and reading about them, but from what little I have read, I think Dawn of War 2 follows the Dawn of War stories. All of them. So I'd probably work through all those campaigns and then get to Dawn of War 2. From what I can tell, you don't actually build new units in Dawn of War 2. It's slightly more RPG-y in that kind of aspect. You grab loot and you put it on your squads and they advance and build up and so on. So I'd like to get to Dawn of War 2, but to do that I want to do Dawn of War in that series first. Number 7. Skyrim. There are a lot of people who are currently doing Skyrim, and I'm enjoying watching their stuff. I'd like to play it myself. But I probably won't do it. This is probably one that won't get done this year for 2 reasons. One, there's already a lot of people doing it. I'm following Spiffy Squee, who's doing a Skyrim Let's Play. Sorcerer Dave, Jingles 1215 as was. He's currently doing one. Anyone else I'm following doing one? I don't think so. But those are 2 fairly big guys I'm following who are currently doing one. And I think there's other people doing it. So I don't want to kind of throw my tiny, minuscule, pathetic hat into the ring when people are going to be you're looking for a Skyrim Let's Play. Do you watch the one with no views? The one with The one who's already on the 301 plus category, or the one with 200 views. You ain't picking the one with 0 views. So that's one reason. The other reason is I want to play other games that are higher up on the list before I get to Skyrim. And oops, I may have given one away there. Number 6. Another game might not be doing straight away, depending on which game ends. Assassin's Creed 2. Unsurprisingly, I'm going to wait until Assassin's Creed 1 is ended before this becomes a possibility to be played. The reason for that is the story, I think, follows on from Assassin's Creed. I'm guessing that, rather than just being a completely unrelated title like some games are. I mean, you compare things like Tropico or Crusader Kings or Europa Universalis. The features are improved rather than the story being a sequel. In Assassin's Creed 2, I think the story is a sequel, so I would wait until Assassin's Creed is ended. From what I've heard, it's one of the best before Assassin's Creed 4. I've not heard about where that's slotted in, and considering how long it's been out, we might not know for a few months, or a few weeks maybe, if we're lucky, as to where Assassin's Creed 4 fits in. From my understanding, I think it's between 2 and Brotherhood at the moment as which is the best game, so I'd really like to give it a shot. Assassin's Creed was dragging a little bit for me. It's kind of improved now, and I'd like to see where it goes in the rest of my recording sessions. Number 5, Fallout. I've been seeing quite a few people do Fallout 3 Let's Plays, in particular Variax, and I've been seeing some people play Fallout New Vegas Let's Plays, or going back and watching other people's older ones not currently being done. And I'd like to see, as I've got it from GOG.com, I'd love to play through the Fallout series and just see how the story progressed. I'm not sure if there's any connection because I think they're in different areas. But I'd like to see how the games progressed, how the stories changed tone maybe, how the mechanisms behind the games changed as it went on. I think it'd be really interesting just to go Fallout 2, Fallout 2, maybe Tactics, and then 3, and then finally New Vegas. Though, of course, there's rumours now that, maybe there's going to be a Fallout 4 coming out. Not really following that much, considering I've not played any of them yet, and I'm not going to get to that for a while, the number of games I've got on my list. Number 4. Another game that's probably not going to happen straight away, because there's a game higher up that I want to play first. Number 4 is Oblivion. Yes, so this is the second Elder Scrolls game on this list. I've never played any of the Elder Scrolls games. I know. Considering the number of blind Let's Plays I've been doing, I've not played a lot of games, it seems. Well, I've got a list of 10 that we've already been through. Fortunately, proving I've done something. And I think Oblivion would be interesting. Again, though, Variax is currently doing his Let's streams of it. Continuing on from his Let's Play. I think Jingles, Sorcerer Dave, he's currently doing a Let's Play with, Idris is the name of the character. And I think it'd be interesting just to see the story. I'm not sure how the stories of the Elder Scrolls games connect. Especially, I think Skyrim, they make a massive jump in time, so I don't know if it's necessary to do things in this order. But I still kind of, similar to Fallout, would like to see how the games progressed for myself. Number 3, I'm kind of intrigued that my number 3 of my top 10 games is a D&D RPG. And my number 3 on my Hot 10, as I'm calling this in my Excel spreadsheet, my top 10 games I want to play is a D&D RPG. It is a very widely renowned game called Planescape Torment. Not played this one either. It looks to be very interesting, very, I think, different to Baldur's Gate from what I understand, in that it's not as combat heavy, which, if you've seen that Let's Play, is probably a good thing for me. And you have more options, and I'd kind of like to see where I come, because one weird mechanism that I remember hearing about is you start as a true neutral character, and your actions change you to lawful or chaotic, good or evil. And it'd be interesting to play it as myself and see where I end up, rather than, as with Baldur's Gate, where I've just picked neutral good, because I think that fits me best. Let's see what the game thinks, though of course you have that sense of moral choice, where it's not necessarily some absolute rule on morality that's judging you. It's the game designer who's judging you and where you're coming at in the 9 points of alignment in D&D. Number 2. Oh, I think I've given this away already. I've mentioned it before. It is the third Elder Scrolls game on this list. It is the one I would probably be playing before the other two. And it is, some people call it an amazing game. Some people say it's the best of the Elder Scrolls. And considering I'm having problems with DOSBox, it's not Daggerfall or Arena, and we've already had Oblivion and Skyrim. It is, of course, Morrowind. As I said, I've never played an Elder Scrolls game. This is going to be an interesting one. There are lots of people who say Morrowind is far superior to Oblivion. It's far superior to Skyrim. And that as it's gone through Oblivion and Skyrim, it's dumbed down. I'd love to play through not this series, but these 3, and just judge it on that. Just see, do I feel the same? Do I feel that there is a dumbing down going on here? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. And it would be good just to have my own sense of feeling, have my own side of the argument, that I know where I come. Has the Elder Scrolls dumbed down? Has it not? Whatever. Either way, it's apparently another really, really good game that a lot of people have enjoyed, and I'd just like to see, do I agree with them on that? Not just the dumbing down, but how good of a game it is. I'm enjoying the RPGs I'm currently doing, and the Elder Scrolls are some of the best modern ones. Let's kind of catch up on as much of the lore as we can, or as I can. You might already know it all. And finally, number 1. And I think this might be a bit of an odd pick. It's a third-person game. I've seen people Let's Play it. I don't think anyone I've currently subscribed to has Let's Played it. And it's a game I've been thinking about a bit, because I've recently reread the stories that it's based on. I've been watching the film that it's also based on. It is American McGee's Alice. I quite like the idea of it, and I'd love to do it. I'd probably do something before I start it. You know, I'm saying that a lot. I'd probably do something along the lines of read the books and record them on Audacity and put them up for you guys. Comment if you don't want me to do that. Comment if you do want me to do that. That might be an idea. But it's just an interesting idea just to see the twist that American McGee put on Wonderland. Admittedly, Wonderland's a bit of a weird place anyway. It is. Very odd things happen for almost no reason. And any game, any movie, is going to be more coherent by nature. Especially a live-action film. Sorry, Tim Burton. And it's not going to fit. I don't think Madness Returns fits the story that American McGee's telling. And I can get into another rant, a separate video. This is already approaching a very, very long video, so I don't really want to extend it too much. And that's my top 10 games that I want to play. If you don't want me to do these as a Let's Play, or maybe you want me to do a particular one, maybe of my top 10 as much as of this list, maybe you should comment. Just comment saying, oh, I'd love you to do this. I'm not promising anything, but it gives me an insight into what you guys want. So, thanks for watching this. What must be like, it feels like it's an hour long. It feels like I've been talking for an hour. Thanks for listening to this long, rambly video about my opinions of gaming, rather limited as they are. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching my stuff. So, New Year's special, that was it. Happy New Year, happy 2014, and goodbye.